Hello and welcome to Cognito Key. I'm so glad you could join us today.
You know, have you ever noticed that when prices for, say, petrol or even groceries all seem to jump up at the exact same time across totally different brands, you start to wonder, is this just a coincidence? Well, what if I told you it might not be? There could be a kind of secret alliance at play, and that's exactly what we're going to get into right now.
So, in today's explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on these arrangements. We'll kick things off by defining what a cartel actually is. Then we'll look at the two main types you might see. After that, we'll get into why they're so harmful. And finally, we'll look at the big picture, the difference between healthy competition and this sneaky collusion.
All right, let's dive right in. Section 1. What exactly is a cartel? Let's break it down.
Okay, so at its very core, a cartel is when a bunch of companies that are supposed to be rivals decide to, well, stop competing. Instead of fighting for your business with better prices or cooler products, they make a secret pact to work together. They basically start acting like one giant monopoly, which lets them completely control the market. That's why you sometimes hear them called price rings.
And this slide right here, this is basically the cartel playbook. Their goals are crystal clear, aren't they? First, they all agree on a price, usually a high one. Then, they might deliberately produce less of something to keep those prices up. They'll even carve up the market amongst themselves, like you take the north, I'll take the south, so they never have to step on each other's toes. The whole game is designed to lock out newcomers and make as much money as possible for the group, all at our expense.
Now, it's interesting because not all of these secret deals look the same. They generally fall into two main categories, and it all depends on who is making the agreement.
And this little chart shows the difference perfectly. On one hand, you have a horizontal cartel. This is an agreement between direct rivals. Think of two big car companies secretly agreeing to set the same high price for their new models. On the other hand, you have a vertical agreement. This happens between firms at different stages of the supply chain. For example, a car maker could make a deal with its parts supplier to only supply them, squeezing out other car brands. Now, these horizontal agreements are usually seen as the worst of the worst. When direct competitors get together to fix prices or rig bids for a contract, they are killing off the very idea of a competitive market. It's basically a conspiracy against the customer, which is why this kind of thing is almost always illegal.
Vertical agreements, though, are a little more complex. They can definitely still hurt competition. I mean, an exclusive deal can stop a shop from selling a competitor's product, right? But since the companies aren't direct rivals fighting for the same customer, regulators often look at these on a case-by-case basis. They can still be illegal, for sure, especially if they end up causing significant harm to the market.
So, this brings us to the big question. Why are these practices illegal in most places? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's because the negative effects ripple outwards and end up hurting all of us, the consumers. It's really like a chain reaction, you see. First, the cartel raises prices together, so suddenly there's no cheaper option for you to switch to. Then, to make sure those high prices stick, they might cut back on production to create a fake shortage. And finally, and this is a big one, why would they bother spending money to innovate or make their product better? With guaranteed profits and no real competition, there's just no reason to. So progress just stalls.
And at the end of the day, who pays for all of this? Well, it's us. The consumer is the #1 victim. Every single time a cartel gets away with it, we're the ones stuck with higher bills, fewer options on the shelf, and often lower quality products. It just completely undermines the whole idea of a fair and open market.
This brings us to the real heart of the issue, doesn't it? It's this constant battle between healthy, open competition and this kind of shadowy, secret collusion.
You see, a healthy economy runs on competition. It's the engine that pushes companies to be better, to be more efficient, to come up with the next big thing. But cartels, they just slam the brakes on that whole engine. They swap out honest competition for these backroom deals and conspiracies, and that prevents the market from working the way it's supposed to, freely and fairly for everyone.
I think this quote really just says it all, you know? The alliance of competitors. It's a total betrayal of that competitive spirit. It's a team up not to create something new or better, but just to take more value from the rest of us.
So, I'll leave you with a little food for thought. The next time you see the prices for your mobile plan or maybe plane tickets all move up in perfect lockstep, just ask yourself, is this just how the market works? Or could it be something else? Now that you know the signs, you can look at the world around you with a more critical eye.
Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this helpful, please do subscribe to Cognito Key. We'd love to have you. And of course, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone you think might find it interesting. We'll see you in the next one.